he kind of backed himself into a corner. He's
No.
honestly, he's probably happy it's over. A lot of those steroids clearly were probably illegal. I wonder if that's going to stem like where you're getting these steroids from. Maybe that could open up some kind of a steroid illegal underground ring.
Hey, this is Matt Cox, and I'm here with Dan Wise, or RdapDan, and we're going to be talking about the Liver King. So he owned a supplement company. He was, according to him, making tons of money. And, you know, there's different things going on, but basically he then started getting more and more, you know, supposedly like naturally or organically, he started doing social media and then just blew up and doesn't know how it happened. He's just pushing his supplements and his, you know, the, what is it? Primal way of life or I forget. He's got like the
eating raw meat and
how
this can influence your body and build natural muscle to look as if you're taking steroids.
Right. And some stuff had come up, you know, just on YouTube and people had sent me some different things, and I'd you know, guys will send me stuff. Hey, you ought to check this out. And then I saw this thing on, you know, Joe Rogan, where he was talking about the Liver King, and he was saying like, yo, you know, he has an ass full of steroids. That's what he's got. You know, the guy was like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's like, yeah, listen, he's on steroids. There's no way. You know, and I'd watched a few things on him just briefly because I just don't watch. It's got to be interesting, and I'm just not interested in all that. And he seemed like a maniac anyway. But then he, you know, apparently over the last year or so, he's blown up, right? So he blew up, got really big. According to him, made like $100 million, which I have a hard time believing you're selling fucking supplements or anything else and making $100 million. But whatever, you can't believe anything he says, really. And then recently, he got outed by the
himself.
guy. Yeah, well, no, the guy that, well, one, he did a confession, but he did the, you know, he confessed. He only did this little confessional video because he was outed by the guy that was training him.
Got
by
the
like
emails.
a bodybuilder trainer, right?
Through the emails. His emails got leaked.
Right. And the guy leaked the emails, I think.
Right.
The trainer himself. I never really figured out, like, I've watched one video where the guy was talking about how he believes he leaked the emails and he should have leaked the emails. The other, that I had watched another video where they didn't really explain how they got the emails. And the guy reads through all the emails. It's like an hour-long video. He reads through every single one of them. So they leaked the emails, and then he comes out and does a video yesterday, or was yesterday the day? Yeah, yesterday, and saying, "Hey,
yeah.
saying, I fucked up. I made a mistake. I lied. You know, I have taken steroids." Or no, he keeps saying he always says what does he keep saying, like enhancement, you know, whatever, it's steroids, but it's like he's downplaying. Like basically he's taking him at levels. He was taking him at levels, or is taking him at levels that bodybuilders fucking take him at, you know?
Right.
And so then Joe Rogan comes and does another podcast and comes out and says how, you know, fuck, he's not surprised. He's like, I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, I knew it anyway. The guy's a lunatic, and he's, you know. So I had people saying in the comments that I should do a video. Guys are sending me stuff. I'm not sure why. I think part of it is because, like, everybody knows that I had a guy on my program named Ryan Root, and he's I want to say he's a.
Is that the guy that went away for steroids?
Yeah, chemical he's a biologist or something. I forget exactly what he is, but he owns a company that helps you obtain, you know, steroids legally, and analyzes your blood work. And like, I had to go get blood work and send him the blood work. I had to meet with a physician. I had to answer a bunch of questionnaires. I had to have a visit with a physician, but it was all like, you know, it was all over the phone. And then they sent me, testosterone. I started taking testosterone, and I've gained like 15 or 20 pounds, which is my only issue with it. And I just need to lose. I also gained, like, I'm much stronger, and obviously there's a clear difference in my body when I'm go to work out now, and I recover immediately. I can see extreme gains. The only problem is that first of all, I didn't gain 20 pounds of muscle. Everyone's like, oh, it's muscle. It's not 20 pounds of muscle. I didn't gain 20 pounds of muscle, okay, in 3 months. What I gained is water weight and some muscle, so but still I have to fill every 2 weeks, or is it every 2 weeks, or every once a month I fill out a questionnaire, and I talk with Ryan, and he says, how's this going? What's happening with this? It's totally like really personal care, and it's all monitored by a doctor.
Have you felt any like roid rage or anything from it?
No, nothing like that. No. I took them when I was younger, and I would feel that way, but then I think it was just an excuse to not keep myself in check. When you're younger, you're like, you get all angry and everything. You think, oh, you're on steroids, and that's what it is. And I was really just a dick, just really just a fucking 21-year-old kid, or 19-year-old. Shit, I started taking them when I was like 17 or 18 years old. I had a buddy whose father owned a bunch of gyms. His name was Trent Calta. And I grew up with them. So I actually met Trent when I was 17, I think. And he was, I think he was trying to pick up my girlfriend in high school. So I pulled over one day. He was riding his bicycle. He was 15 and I was 17. I was like 14 months older than him. I pulled over one day to see him. He jumped off his bike like, what's up, man? What's up? I was like, what's going on? And I said, I hear you hit on my girlfriend. Who, Cindy? Yeah, Cindy. And he was like, what's up, bro? What's up? I said, nothing. Throw your bike in the back of my car. I'll drive you home. I said, I actually just joined your gym, your dad's gym. Like, he thought, like, first of all, I was no way. I probably weighed 135, 140 pounds, and he must have weighed like 185. He was 15 years old and he was squatting 400 pounds. Like I'm not going to fight anywhere. And he's about an inch taller than me. Like, he would have killed me. So
Matt pulls over and picks up the guy trying to hit on his girlfriend and gives him a ride home.
Yeah. I gave him a ride home. Well, listen, I gave him a ride home. We were good buddies after that. Hung out all the time. Matter of fact, his brother is the guy that gave me a job when I was in the halfway house. Remember I told
full circle.
The halfway house, made one phone call. I figured I'm going to start calling people, trying to get a job before I get a job at McDonald's. First phone call I made was to Treon. He said, absolutely, I'll hire you. Absolutely. He picked me up for like a month until I finally got a car.
Meanwhile, the world's missing out probably on the world's tastiest quarter pounder with cheese because you decided not to take the job.
Yeah, that would have been great. I would definitely blown up if I worked at McDonald's, right?
I'll tell you what, this Liver King guy, his video he posted yesterday about the confession, that's probably his biggest video.
Really?
It's got almost 2 million views.
I've watched it twice.
Everything else is like, there's 2 of them. Everything else is like 40,000, 50,000. He's got a couple with a couple 100,000. But yeah, that one hit 2 million views in 24 hours. So I don't think he's hurting from coming out and openly admitting steroids. He's making money on that now too.
Well, the problem is, if you watch the video, like, it's kind of it's obviously, it's kind of a routine. It's kind of an act, the whole primal.
The whole I'm sorry thing.
Well, I think it's I don't know what other choice he had other than to say he could not address it. So he could not address it, which is probably a mistake. He could address it and say it's untrue. But I think it was so overwhelming that so many people were coming out, and it was so obvious that it was true. And then he obviously to hit it head on. But and it was a half-assed apology. If you watch, it seemed kind of like,
I didn't even know about it until you told me about it. I think it was last night or this morning. Oh no, yesterday you sent me a message on it to do this. But I've been following him, just not really following him, but Joe Rogan did a video on him a while ago. Just basically, there's no way this guy is natural. This guy's got to be on steroids. And it just seemed like Joe Rogan has been around that whole fucked up world of steroids and fighters and bodybuilders and just everything, all of the drugs that Joe Rogan talks about himself, that it just, the fact that he was so adamant about it, it was, when you look at the guy, I've never seen anybody that natural that's not taken some sort of supplements. And I'm sure he's taken way more than just testosterone. Like you're on a prescription. What's that?
Who? Joe Rogan or the?
No. I'm talking about Joe Rogan, how he was describing the Liver King and with what Joe Rogan has seen with people taking steroids and testing for steroids in the doping industry. It just seemed like if Joe Rogan thinks you're on steroids, that's probably a pretty good barometer.
Yeah. Well, and the Liver King, did you see what he is taking? He was taking DECA. He's taking.
Oh yeah.
He's taking
obviously. Yeah, he was taking stuff that's not even made for humans. He was taking like the horse Winstraw. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But I mean, there's legitimate reasons. Like most, I forget what the statistic is, but they were saying like most men over the age of 50, like 2/3 of all men over the age of 50, basically their testosterone has dropped to low levels, like below 600. And so if the average is in between like 600 to 1,000, they're below 600, and then a doctor, pretty much any doctor, will prescribe steroids. So, there's there are legitimate reasons. There's even when you're younger, burn victims. Right. If you have like HIV, if you have, if it's hard for you, there's multiple reasons that you should take, steroids. But
not the type that he was taking. Like what you're talking about is like testosterone and HGH and possibly like HCG, things that are prescribed that are naturally going to enhance. Like you're not going to look like him taking testosterone.
No, not just taking it. You'd have to take a ton of it and work out. But what I'm saying is the reason he's taking it is for to look enhanced and to obviously sell his supplements. And that's where, that's the problem when you do something like that, is that it becomes a scam. Like it's a scam. Like he can say, I lied, no, you were scamming people. Like you didn't, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. No, you're scamming people. That's what you're doing. I didn't know I'd blow up. Well, what does it matter? Why you're not giving away your supplements. Right. You're not giving away your training advice. You're not giving this stuff away.
Do you think there could be some kind of legal stuff coming down the pipe? Because people are purchasing this under false pretenses, thinking, "Hey, I can take this bark that that the Liver King suggested, and I can look like him." Meanwhile, it's
I've been having these livers shipped. I hate liver. Livers. I feel
like a fucking zombie eating raw liver every night for dinner.
Disgusting.
He's been known to cure insecurity just with his laugh. His organ donation card lists his charisma. His smile is so contagious. Vaccines have been created for it. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't typically commit crime, but when I do, it's bank fraud. Stay greedy, my friends.
Support the channel. Join Matthew Cox's Patreon.
Yeah, do I think there could be? I mean, the problem is when you file a lawsuit, first you got to go find a lawyer. And there's always some lawyer that's willing to file a nuisance lawsuit. But
I mean, there's so many people that are going to probably complain about this.
But that's when it becomes a class action lawsuit. He's got multiple problems. One is him saying, I made $100 million in the last year by pushing my supplements and by people following the primal way of life. And they want to look like this. And it's like your whole promotion is based on the way you look, and you're charging people for it. So could there be a class action lawsuit? Like, I don't see there being a fraud charge. Not like he could go to prison for fraud, but there definitely could be a class action lawsuit, because you're selling supplements based on, it's like the Lanham Act. You can't falsely advertise something and expect to profit from it.
And I imagine the feds, anything they want to do, if they deem this thing, if they wanted to come after him for some sort of fraud, I'm sure they could finagle a way into how these false claims have turned into some sort of a health issue.
Well, you don't even have to do that. What about that guy that, remember the pills that they extends or something? What was the name of those pills they used to sell? Remember the guy that the guy would be cooking, barbecuing, like 1950s. He's barbecuing,
like
and the
middle-aged guy.
Yeah, and the wife would be real happy. She's, and it was called, I think it was called Extends. That guy got sued. He went to prison.
Oh,
they took
really?
his company. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the feds took his company and everything.
What for? What was it he ultimately did?
Well, first of all, part of the problem is if you take Extends, it doesn't extend anything. And he was saying a money back guarantee, but what you had to do to get the money back guarantee is you had to go to your doctor and have your doctor write you a note that said that he had measured your member before you took the Extends. You'd taken it for 90 days or 6 months, and there was no measurable growth. Like, what do you do it like that?
Can you imagine showing up to your primary doctor and be like, hey, doc, I need to get some before and after stuff
Check
here.
this out. Look,
I brought my own measuring tape. What do we need to do here?
Doc, look how pathetic this is. But don't worry, I've got some Extends coming. Oh yeah, no, I know. You guys come in here all the time. Listen, I'm not measuring that thing. Hold on. It's Extends federal lawsuit. Was it a class action? Extends. It's EXTEN capital ZE. Class action lawsuit settlement. $6 million settlement has been reached in the class action lawsuit.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Male enhancement. First of all, it's beautiful because who's going to sign up for that?
The lawsuit?
For the lawsuit. Like, hey,
put your name on the poster.
Yeah, sign me up. I'll go on CNN with the lawyer and talk about it. No,
Your Honor, I just wanted to fix this little issue I was having.
Yeah. It was the Food and Drug Administration. Let's see, Extends plus. Yeah, this is. Did this guy end up getting charged criminally? I know
about that.
Criminal lawsuit. No, it's federal. Criminal case. Let's try criminal case. Oh, 3 federal cases. I don't know. 7 federal criminal cases charged drug dealer who allegedly sold. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into this. I probably I don't know. I do know I had a buddy in prison who sold like it was an herbal. He pitched it as being an herbal remedy.
Is this Dylan?
Huh?
Was this Dylan?
No.
Kama Sutra, Mr. Nice Guy?
No. It was an herbal remedy for like instead of taking Viagra, you would take this herbal remedy. You had pills, but the pills had Viagra in it. And he ended up getting a cease and desist order. A cease and desist order from like the FDA or something. And so he stopped doing it. He got scared and he stopped fucking importing it. He said, I was making a ton of money. The truth is he was importing stuff from, it was like regular bullshit herbs that were laced with with Viagra from China.
But
And
it
so
actually had Viagra in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was pitching it he's pitching it as a natural, as a natural alternative to Viagra, but it's Viagra.
Until somebody tests it.
Yeah. He thought he was, you know, just, it was, you know, what a good idea and this and that. And I remember me and Pete were like, bro, you could kill somebody. Like, some people can't take Viagra. No,
well, it was
fine.
Viagra was originally designed, I think, as blood pressure medication. And then one of the side effects is, you know, extra erection time, I guess. So they found a better market for that. But yeah, if you got somebody with like high blood pressure or something that starts taking that stuff on accident, that could be a lethal recipe.
Yeah, but honestly, isn't that how you want to go out?
I guess it sounds like you'd have a fucking like horrible headache and
No, I'm saying going at it. Wouldn't you want to go out that way? You know, like, if you're taking it, it's because you're probably, you know, I'm assuming you're hooking up with somebody.
You would hope.
Pretty much how I want to go out.
What's the other one? There's another one too, right? There's
Cialis.
like what is it? Cialis. That's the like one a day thing. You just take that just in case.
Yeah, I take it in the morning.
Do you really? You're on Cialis?
Yes. No, and I'm taking I'm on, testosterone therapy.
Now, with your testosterone therapy you're on, is it like a permanent thing, or are you on for like 10 weeks and they do like a cycle off to let your body kind of repair, or you just keep going with it?
No, I'm good. I'm just taking it. There's no,
when you take testosterone, your body stops its natural production of testosterone. So they say you're only supposed to take it for a period of time. And then I forgot, they give you something else to kind of to re-stimulate your natural testosterone production. I mean, then I hear people taking testosterone for what's that?
Maybe at your age, but at my age, I'm not producing it anyway. So there's nothing to kickstart it. Like, I'm replacing it and staying replaced. Because if I stop taking it, it drops down. Even if you gave me something, what's it going to bring it up to? It's already low.
I think it's just so your body doesn't naturally shut down. Are you going to be on testosterone? I guess you're going to take it forever.
I have no problem with that. Oh, I don't plan on living much longer, to be honest.
I'm sure Jess loves to hear that.
Yeah, I think
so. You know,
listen, it's working. It's working.
Damn, Popeye. What the?
That, and that's the lighting. I need to get lights right above me. That would be. And there's light coming straight at me. Listen, there are times when I'm in the gym working out, and I'll look over and I'm like, Jesus, you look pretty good, bro. You know, I feel, old and fat. I definitely want to lose 10 or 15 pounds. But anyway, so the Liver King, I'm wondering, what do you think? So you think, I don't know. So what do you think happens?
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just going to try to like hope it kind of I think it'll brush over. I mean, is anybody really surprised? It will be some kind of a lawsuit to get for all the people that spent money. But these class action lawsuits, they suck because none of the participants get any money. It's the only person that makes money in any kind of a tort lawsuit is the attorneys. Right. So hopefully some people go after him potentially individually. I just imagine him when he's making these videos, he's trying to sell his whatever he was selling, and he's sitting there eating his raw liver. As soon as the camera cuts, he's probably, swapping it out with a burger and a grilled steak. Do you think he intended to get so big, not big, muscular, but big to the point where like he kind of backed himself into a corner? Honestly, he's probably happy it's over, because he's like, fuck, it's just a matter of time before like my drug dealer rats me out, or somebody in my close knit circle, maybe the person that sticks the pin in his rear end,
I mean, first of all, I'm sure he's giving himself the shot, but or his wife is. But the point is he says very clearly in the email, like he explains in the email, these series of emails that are going back and forth between this trainer, where he explains, listen, he's like, I expect to have 100,000. I think he says, I expect to have like 100,000 subscribers by the end of, this time next year. I've hired a crew that's going to live with me. They're going to film me all the time, follow me. Like, he has a huge media campaign prepared. So he 100% was positive he was going to blow up in a big way. He went way, way out of his way. And in fact, the one guy's video I watched, you know what, which I'll mention it because it's really the best. It's a much better version than you and I are doing.
Highly deadly.
I know, with the prep and everything.
I just gotta watch out for your assassin viewers that assassinate me. God forbid Dan has a glass of bourbon on his birthday. Holy shit.
This was
checked into AA after that.
More plates, more dates. That's the name, or that's the guy that did this. It's the Liver King Lie is what it's called. It's got 3.5 million views 5 days ago.
Wow.
And anyway, the guy does a great job because he goes through and he reads all the emails. He reads every email and explains what he's taking, the Liver King's very clear on what's about to happen. He's like, I need to get in the best shape ever because this is what I'm doing and I'm about to come out and I need to be at peak performance. And he explains he's a maniac. He works out all the time. He's got this huge ranch. He basically the whole eating meat, eating the meat and the whatever, I don't know if it's raw meat, but eating meat and eating liver and eating hearts and balls and all the other shit testicles that he eats, he does do all that, but he's also taking steroids. And I think that's the problem, where right. If he could have come out and also said, hey, this is what I do. I also take steroids. I don't think he would have been as big. Everybody's like, well, he should have just not lied to begin with. You're right. But I do think that probably 30 to 40% of his of his success is based on the fact that people thought he was only eating meat and taking supplements and he was getting these kinds of gains.
Doesn't that blow your mind? Like, I can't believe there's anybody out there that believed him wholeheartedly that he wasn't using steroids. I could see people going, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But when I said, do you think he imagined himself blowing up like this? I mean, to the point where like Joe Rogan's talking about him, to the point where you're getting like all of the mainstream media looking at you. And when you're doubted by somebody like Joe Rogan, that puts a lot of spectacles on you. To now, it's almost like, fuck, people are just calling him out. He's a fake, he's a false. And this was before he was outed with the emails.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're right. It was already happening. And as a result of that, he's on all these podcasts saying, I don't take steroids. I won't, I never have, never. So you're right. He's just painted himself into a corner. And now Rogan came out. He does this whole podcast on the guy being a fake. And now he's mocking him. And then he says, I forget the guy he was talking to, but the guy he was talking to, he's like, well, did you have him on I forget, he said, did you have him on the podcast? He says something and Rogan goes, oh, he's been trying to get on the podcast. Like, he's called friends of mine that have, talked to me, that they're all telling me he's been trying to get on here. And he's like, but why? So he can come on here and say that same bullshit he just said and lie and he doesn't apologize. And he said, I mean, now you got Rogan saying you're a douchebag.
Yeah. He seems like the kind of guy that's probably not going to deal well with all the hypocritical stuff that comes his way. Because how are you going to sell anything now other than, T-shirts, or maybe he'll start selling peptides. Maybe he'll start selling steroids. With a lot of the steroids he was probably taking, a lot of those steroids clearly were probably illegal. I wonder if that's going to stem like where you're getting these steroids from. Maybe that could open up some kind of a steroid illegal underground ring.
Well, he explains that he's under a doctor's care. They were all prescribed. Like, I mean, I'm just telling you, that's what he said. Yeah. So, he's saying,
he said a lot before too.
So he's saying, what I'm saying is he could always shift to incorporate that. Like, look, I now am working with this company, and he could send traffic to that company. I mean, that's his only. I don't see what other alternative is there. Because I'll tell you right now, as much shit as he was taking, he fucking just stops taking it. You're gonna watch him just shrivel up.
Shrivel up, yeah.
Yeah. Like, listen, since I was 17, I've been in gyms, working out, raised with 3 guys that their fathers owned a bunch of gyms. And these were bodybuilding gyms. Like, these were guys there's multiple bodybuilders in there. And honestly, I've never seen anybody that looked like this guy that wasn't taking steroids. So when I saw him and he was like, I do nothing but eat meat and this and that, my first thought was, come on, man. Like, I mean, you can get to a certain point, but you're not going to end up looking like that guy.
I'm reading the reviews from his video yesterday. There's a quote: "I lied about taking steroids to stop suicide and to help people with depression so that they could strive for unrealistic physique that they will never be able to reach naturally." Jeez.
But you're the reason. He's the Instagram model that's out there. They're taking perfect pictures and making everybody feel bad. You can look just like me if you just buy this lipstick. And if you take these, and this is all I eat every single day, and I drink this and I drink that, but she's really on methamphetamines, and she's puking her guts out every fucking, twice a day. Like, it's unrealistic. You're setting unrealistic expectations.
Right now, somebody's sitting in their house right now, hearing about this for the first time, and they've probably got like a raw chicken to their left, a raw liver to their right. They got a bunch of raw eggs, and they're eating this stuff, and they're like, "Wow, are you fucking kidding me? This whole thing is a sham." Bunch of people with what is it, Ebola and salmonella and every other disease you get from eating raw meat.
Did you see?
I'll get all the chicken gizzards you got, butcher.
Did you see walking into the supermarket? Like, well, what's been going on the last year at the in the butcher shop? How many guys in the last year have gone up and said, "Listen, I'm going to need a list of this," and the guys are like, "What?" And after 2 weeks or 3 months or so, they're like, "Liver King, yeah, Liver King diet, got it right here." They probably have boxes of stuff.
Yeah, they're probably telling you, "Yeah, you also forgot this on the list, sir. The Liver King also eats this. Don't forget the scrotum."
God, testicle. Yes, we have cow testicles. Of course,
I couldn't do it. Not even because of the potential health risks. I can't even do sushi. Like, I'm not a fan of raw. I like oysters raw. That's about the only thing I can think that I like raw.
Disgusting, bro.
Trying to eat liver. I can't eat cooked liver, seasoned up. Never mind like a plate of just slimy liver. So I'm glad that proved to be false. I'll stick to steroids.
God, this guy is a beast.
He is, man. He's scary looking. But I wonder if he's going to start making videos with like a shirt on now. As the Liver King shrinks up.
Oh my God.
What's it like? What the Liver King? He's kind of a dick. If you think he's he really did put on this whole persona and play this role. And I don't think he intended to get this big. I know, dude. I'm looking at look.
Is that a big piece of liver? Is that a big liver?
I can't see it.
It's
Oh yeah, I see it. Fuck.
Oh.
Yep. The Liver King.
Oh, he's eating it. I got another picture of him eating it.
Ugh.
This is disgusting.
It's almost too disturbing for YouTube. It's like eating a raw animal.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Coleman. Did you ever meet? So there was a guy in Coleman named I don't remember his last name. His name was Dylan. He owns a bunch of Kava Sutra bars throughout Florida, and now I guess like New York and whatnot. And he created this synthetic. It was when spice and all that stuff really started coming out, like the synthetic marijuana. And he created one called Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah. And were you in Coleman with him?
Yeah. Big guy, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he was.
He got nailed for he had his warehouse where they were manufacturing the Mr. Nice Guy exploded in Palm Beach County, and that's how he got hit. But they nailed him. A lot of these guys, anything, and of course on the bottles it all says not intended for human consumption.
I always love those guys too.
incense and whatnot. And they would constantly try to change the
Mr.
chemical
Happy.
structure of it. What?
Mr. Happy?
Mr. Happy?
Is that what they called him? Mr. Happy?
No,
Or they called
Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice Guy.
That was, yeah. Yeah. And then he's got, Kava Sutra, he's got Kratom, I saw him since prison. And he's got like 30 locations now, Kava bars. He's killing it.
Yeah, they ended up catching him. They ended up indicting him because he even though he kept changing the chemical composition, eventually when they raided him, I'd made so much, but I was still selling. So I still had some of the old stuff but I had made the new with the new. So I was just trying to sell off the old stuff. But by that point it was illegal and they grabbed him and then they, whatever, he ended up taking a plea.
Him and his partner. Yeah. That stuff was brutal, bro. We lived like 2 seconds from the one he had, the little branch he had in Lake Worth, downtown Lake Worth, Florida. And that was the first kava bar he had when he first started creating Mr. Nice Guy, the spice, the synthetic marijuana. This was before it was all over the place. And I was at the kava bar. I was having a kava, and we'd all, like a little small group of us there, kind of become friends. We'd play poker and stuff on the weekends. And he's like, "Hey, Dan, you want to try it?" He goes, "It's not weed, but it's just like weed." I was like, "What do you mean it's just like weed?" He's like, "Well, here, try some." He put some in a little bowl. And I was hesitant to try it, but a couple other people tried it. So I was like, whatever. This is before I got in trouble and did all my dumb stuff. So I took one little hit of this synthetic marijuana. In the first few minutes, it felt just like marijuana. I was like, wow, this feels just like marijuana. He goes, yeah, it's great because all the guys that are going into these sober living houses, they can come in here and drink kava and kratom, and now they can smoke Mr. Nice Guy, and none of this stuff shows up in your blood or whatever, so you can pass a UA test. So the high gradually kept going. About 20 minutes into it, I felt like I had just been smoking nonstop, and then I started to get slightly paranoid. I started to kind of not really feel like I had full control of like my functions, my motor skills. So I was like, I got to get out of here. And Shelly at the time was working about 4 restaurants or 4 little bays down at a place called Lake Worth, or Downtown Pizza. She worked at a pizza place. So I'm trying to walk over to the pizza place and literally couldn't walk. I was on my hands and knees. I was crawling, and Shelly was outside clearing off the table. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, take me home. I don't know. So she scoops me up, gets me in the car, takes me home. And I'd never felt like, she thought I was just in a back alley she's like, "What did you do?" And that was his first batch of Mr. Nice Guy. Then he kind of toned it down and everything. But that spice stuff, that's real dangerous things that people are playing with, doing that stuff. I couldn't imagine if I got into a car and started driving and then that intensity hit me.
Right. Well, he's not doing that anymore.
No, he's got but he's the CBDs and the Delta 8s and the Delta 9s. He killed it in cryptocurrency. I remember he was in Bitcoin when it was still affordable to buy Bitcoin, and he was buying lots of it. So I'm sure whatever Dylan does, he always somehow turns it into gold.
Mm. Well,
but yeah, Liver King. I don't know what's next for this guy, but I think it's going to blow over if the media doesn't stay on it. I mean, I'm sure there's tons and tons and tons of people that follow him that were like, yeah, sure, he's taking steroids, but you still don't get that kind of physique and that kind of build without continually working out, because you can't just get huge on steroids. You can't just sit around and shoot up steroids and expect to get big. You still have to, eat right and go to the gym and diet. There's still a format to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the same thing. I think it might blow over. Might. I mean, I think if I really, to be honest, I think that his best course of action is to probably, of course, keep owning up to it. And then I think that his best course of action is to hook up with with one of these companies, like this guy, like Ryan Root, the guy that I told you about, that where he's like, look, if you want, you can go to this company. They'll monitor you. They'll give you, steroids. And kind of be a coach in combination with monitoring if you want to go that route. And he's going to lose some people. And of course, the problem is, people are going to, now he's kind of a joke, where before you could almost buy into the whole act. It's just a kind of the whole act, the whole, hey, primals, it's like, okay, you're a cartoon character.
Randy Savage, the Macho Man there.
Right. So, okay. So, you're going to lose some people, but your hardcore fans are going to stick with you, and you can probably spin it off into also backing some company that gives you a kickback on the new clients or something. That's really all he needs to do. That's his only change. And what does it matter anyway? According to him, he was already filthy rich. Like, he was already rich. He was already super successful. So, is this going to destroy his business? No, but he's going to take a hit.
Law enforcement often questions him, not because he's suspected of a crime, but because they find him fascinating. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't typically commit crime, but when I do, it's bank fraud. Stay greedy, my friends.
Support the channel. Join Matthew Cox's Patreon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of the mental hit that he's going to take. I mean, in the spotlight he's in, to get negative press now, to think about how people are viewing you, friends, sponsors, all these people that, the advertisers he has on his YouTube channel. I imagine the emotional hit, imagine some of these smaller companies out there that they see a negative review or a bad comment, and the way it kind of like shakes them and rattles them. Somebody in the situation he's in now, he put himself in such a spotlight, and then people like Joe Rogan commenting on it, and then him getting outed, to where all of these statement of facts he was making are now just complete bullshit. Now to see what happens with the mental state of mind when because don't forget, he's on steroids, which the types of steroids he's taken probably do affect your mental state and how you're feeling, and all the hate that he's getting. And maybe this is creating stress in his relationships now. It's the recipe for losing your brains, or, suicide type things. Because he talks about suicide a lot, which makes me think he was somebody at some point that had some pretty rough mental health issues to deal with.
Well, he's kind of like on the Andrew Tate thing, where he's trying to say, be a man, be primal, be a man, stand up for yourself, work out, do this, be aggressive, so that's kind of like part of his whole thing, is like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get up, work out, that whole thing. Like, I get, and the thing is, I get that. Like,
right.
My problem, it's kind of like the Wes Watson, who Wes Watson is?
Yeah.
Wes Watson, he's the same. He really is very, it's funny that I just realized that, like, he really is the same kind of guy. Like, I could see Wes Watson and him doing it. Like that's my worst fucking nightmare, being in a room with those two fucking guys. Like, so much fucking testosterone just oozing off of those guys. Like, it's like,
they probably end up in a big makeout session.
Well, what's funny is that
you just slip away.
What's so funny is, like, I agree, like the Andrew Tate and, and Wes Watson and all of these guys, like, I agree with a lot of what they say. I just don't agree with the way they're pitching it. Like, they're pitching it in the worst possible way. Now, you take someone like Jordan Peterson, and I love Jordan Peterson. Who
the problem is the way these guys, well, specifically the Liver King, is 99% of the advice he gives, a healthy lifestyle, workout, stay away from this, go to bed, don't watch a lot of TV, eat healthy. That's all great advice. But you've got a lot of people out there that are looking for excuses to not do those things. And now that he's become openly, he's now a known liar, that he was taking steroids, he would probably still be in amazing physical physique. He may not be as, like, hulkish, but he'd probably still be jacked and ripped and shredded. and living a super healthy lifestyle. But now he just kind of took away all of the credibility that he had, and he's going to make it very easy for people that want to blame it, say there's no way you could look like that at that age without taking something not natural. So it really did make it hard for anybody else to come in behind him.
So you feel like he may have done more damage to that cause than anything.
Well, look, anybody that was already following his lifestyle, anybody that's out there like eating steroids as like M&Ms, but they're also living a good workout routine, they're eating healthy, but they're also taking steroids, they're already doing that. The people that were kind of on the fence going, oh man, I'm 42, I'm 45, I'm 50 years old, I'm not feeling the same kind of energy. According to this guy, if I just change this and eat this, they were already probably a hard sell, you know, because it's changing your mindset, creating new habits to do what he's telling you to do. In addition to eating the steroids, it also requires a very regimented, you know, schedule. Now it's like, well, fuck, you're telling me that I have to take steroids. I just believe there's a lot of people out there that this setback that were probably attempting to move forward, now they're devastated. Now it's a big excuse not to do anything.
I mean, or to be honest, like it's cheap. Like it's not expensive.
What's cheap?
The
you mean to get on natural testosterone?
Yeah, THT, yeah, the testosterone or TRT, testosterone replacement
therapy. Yeah, but it's one of those things though. It's not easy to get. First you have to have a doctor that's I mean, you can go, well, now it is easy to get. I shouldn't say that. You got all the TRT doctors.
You got to look at your blood work, but
I think a lot of people, Matt, they don't like when they hear steroids, they're thinking of like Trenbolone and Winstrol and Deca. They don't realize that testosterone is not in the same group of all those. Sure, testosterone might be illegal if you're like a professional athlete and you're getting tested through the doping committee, but as a regular guy in your 40s, 50s years old, like you said, your natural testosterone is so low, but it's still such a taboo. Your balls shrink, you're going to lose your hair, it makes you angry. People still jump to all of these horrible thoughts that are really, a lot of it's just bullshit.
It's just bullshit. First of all, I don't need big balls. Big balls have never done anything for me. So, you know, and when you're 40, it starts to drop off anyway. It around 40. By 50, fuck, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like you bruise super easy. I would bump into something and have a bruise. I don't even know how I got the bruise, and it's there for a week. It's like, what the hell happened? I don't even remember getting a bruise, and it's not healing. And then I would work out, and I'd be sore for 4 days. It was like, this is killing me. Like I was constantly felt like I had injuries. Also, your libido drops. Like testosterone is great. So
probably everybody at 40 years old should probably be on it, to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, I also eat fairly good. I mean, I'm not fairly good. I would say I eat pretty good. I eat pretty damn good. Like I'm of course I'm down on myself. So I eat pretty good, and I work out. Jess and I work out every morning we leave the house at 6. We work out for about an hour and a half. We come back, we drink coffee, get ready for the day. That's it. She goes, like, that's it. So, I mean, it's not like I'm taking it and just not sitting around. Although there are people that take it and they don't do anything because it's just replacing the testosterone that's not there. They don't want to use it to their advantage, I guess.
Right.
You know, I want to take advantage of the situation.
Well, I mean, not everybody's got like the lifestyle you're living, the healthy lifestyle, the getting up early, eating healthy. Not everybody is I'm not going to say in a position where they can do that. Not everybody's ready to make that kind of commitment. A lot of people would rather stay up late the night before. They would want to go out. They want to, you know, Friday and Saturday, they want to go out and get wasted. Everybody wants to live a healthier lifestyle, but when it comes time to do what's necessary, that's kind of where you're left. That's where people start buying all of these. Oh, I'm going to buy this pill and this pill because it's going to change my life. Man, unless you're ready to change that lifestyle, all the steroids and pills in the world aren't going to fix you if you're not doing something with it.
Right. Well, it's like these people that pay to go to see these gurus and everything. or take real estate classes and take, credit courses and real estate courses and how to open an online business and do this and do that. The problem is that honestly, most of it's hype. And then people don't actually pull the trigger. Like it's not hard to make money. It's just the problem is it does take work. You got to get up early. You got to actually do certain things that you want to put off and you put off and you put off. I put off stuff all the time, but I also pull the trigger on a ton of stuff. So I think it's the same thing. You think you're going to take, like you said, people really just want to take a magical pill that's going to make them thin and muscular. It's like in life. It's just more than that. It takes more than that.
But they want to blame all of the circumstances around them as to why. Like they'll take all of these classes, like you just said, all these guru courses, and then when it doesn't work, like, oh man, Tony Robbins is a fraud. It's like, well, you can't go to a Tony Robbins event and get all pumped up and then go home 3 or 4 days later when you're not a billionaire, go, this was all bullshit. Because it really does require like a whole lifetime changing of how you think, what you do. The whole process has to change. And I'm sure there is a part of it. It's a little bit gimmicky to where if you were a guru and you're out there selling these online courses, the course may be legit for the right person, but you're not going to go, well, you don't seem like you're being serious enough, so I'm not going to sell you my course. You're still going to sell everybody the course that wants to buy it, even only 10% might actually follow through with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when I used to teach the real estate class, like I would tell guys, do this, do that. Here's all the things you need to do. And I used to have guys come up to me because I would have certain strategies that I would say, this is what you do. This is, if I was you, I go out and do this. I go out and do this. Why? Well, because this meets these requirements and this requires. So I would have all these things. And I used to have guys come up and say, bro, like, are you concerned? Like you're telling people this stuff. Like, aren't you worried that they're going to go out and like do it. And then they're, and take over the market. And this, and then I was like, first of all, there's, and there are those people, right. That are like, there are those people that think there's almost only so much pie to go around. And if you're getting the pie, you're taking it from my potential pie. But the truth is there's plenty of pie, and the second thing is, I don't think anybody else is going to do it better than me. And, the third thing is that I could tell, I could tell 1,000 of these guys, maybe 1 or 2 will go out and they'll do some of it, a little bit. But most people will start making $800 to $1,000 a week, and they'll kick back and watch sitcoms and sleep in and play with their kids and go on vacations, and they're good. Like, you're like, okay, you've got a winning strategy here. You see that this strategy is making this much money. Now you just have to kind of McDonaldize it and blow it up. Like keep doing the same, keep buying the same house, do the same thing, and it will grow. And instead of making $4,000 a month, you'll be making $40,000 in a month in 2 years. And they're like, I don't know. I'm good. I mean, I get to go on vacation with the wife. I teach T-ball for my son. I'm good.
And it also sounds almost not practical or unrealistic when you start telling somebody they could make 10, 20, 30, 40 grand a month when maybe they're used to making, 2 or 3 grand a month. That kind of mentality, I think it scares a lot of people away, as it should, because there's no such thing as very unlikely it's a get rich quick. It does take the work, but all of a sudden, when you make your first 10,000, you make 20,000, and it starts being consistent, and you're no longer shocked when you're like, oh, I made 10 grand this month, or I made 20 grand this month. It starts to feel routine and feel normal. And it's like, man, if you guys could just see that, if you just did the recipe and then maybe changed the order later on, but kind of get your script down, get the marbles out, people could do really, really well if they actually were willing to take the risk.
But what I'm saying is I know guys that have done it, and they started the process, and because they were making $3,000 a month, and now they're doing this other thing and they're making $6,000 a month, they kick back. They're good. It's like, well, don't you understand? If you just go buy 2 more houses now, do the same thing, you'll be making $15,000 a month. And they're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. Like, they don't want to make more money. They wanted to make more money than they were making. Now that they are making, like, there's certain people like Ephraim Deveroli. For Ephraim Deveroli, it would never be enough. So some
that's like
people
all these other guys too.
huh?
The same thing with all these other guys, all these motivational guys out there, like Timothy Ferriss and Gary Vee. Same thing.
Or that'll never be enough.
It'll never be enough. But these guys also probably don't have a very impactful social life because their whole life is like every waking moment is how can I make more money?
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know.
Do you know who Mr. Beast is? I'm sure you do. You watch. He did an interview. I don't know if we talked about this last time. He did an interview and they were asking about his work ethic. And he said, he's not going to try to recommend this to anybody else, but he says for him, he'll go work 14, 15 days straight, like 24 hours a day. I'm sure he's sleeping some point in there, but he's grinding. And then all of a sudden he'll wake up one day and just be like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything today. I'm going to go take a me day. And he has that like once every 2 weeks. He says that little recharge is all he really needs for him. That type of a schedule works for him, and that's not a very doable schedule if you're, in a invested relationship or you've got a family. It's all balancing that out. You're in a situation where you found a cool little niche for you, where you're able to grind pretty hard, but still have time for your life with like you and Jess.
Yeah, but like if we had, we had 3 or 4 kids or shit, if we had 1 or 2 kids, we would have to be, we'd have to alter it somewhat. Well, and I alter my work schedule anyway, based on Jess, because when she gets home, I want to have dinner with her. I want to watch TV with her. Like, I want to spend some time with her, because in the past that had always been a problem for me where I didn't do that. But I was making so much money in the past, women would put up with it because I was making so much money. So they're like, yeah, you can basically see me whenever you want, treat me like garbage because you are making a ton of money, but I'm not making a ton of money now. And so, and I don't want to be that guy that takes advantage of the situation or neglects the person that he's with, because in the end, then that relationship fails. And honestly, I'm just too old to have another failed fucking relationship. I mean, I can't keep starting over. I'm an old man. I'm not going to find another chick like Jess.
She is a pretty cool chick, man. I've had the fortunate experience of meeting her a couple of times. So yeah, you found yourself a good one there.
She's been pretty mean today, though. I don't know why. She's punched me several times, yelled at me, pushed me around.
Didn't she make you that cup of coffee?
She made me the coffee, but she gripes the whole time. I don't need the attitude. I make my own coffee. Listen, even talking right now, she can hear me from the other room. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, you're going to pay for this statement later.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes she'll watch a video from like a week or 2 ago. I don't even know why. She'll come home with an attitude. Like, what did I do? You said something. Yeah, you're just kind of a jerk. I'm like, what did I? It was 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, to see in 90 days from now, to see how his channel is doing and like where his last 10 videos versus his next 10 videos, like it's going to be such an elephant in the room, especially if he tries to make it where yesterday was his only apology about it. He tries to never talk about it again. Because I think there's going to be a lot of media coverage at least in the next couple of days, where it's just going to be exposing him for all of the fraud and the false statements that he made. What is he going to say about this over the next few days that he can actually say that's going to make a difference?
I don't know. Well, you know what's funny is, what about like, it would be interesting to track his, first of all, I wish we knew the truth. Like, I wonder what the real numbers are. Like, was your business really super successful before this? How much money did you really make in the last year? Are you losing money at this point? Is there a real loss? Are there going to be lawsuits? Like, it'd be great if somebody kept track of what happened. You could actually see the chart where he starts to lose money, or maybe it dips slightly and it keeps going, and it'll be interesting to see how he navigates this over the next 6 months to a year. Because in a year, it'll all be played out.
I mean, if you were an attorney and you saw this going on and you knew potentially that he sold a lot of his product, it might be worth it to throw up a billboard and say, did you buy product from the Liver King in the last 2 years? Do you feel like you were taken advantage of? Did you think you were going to look like the Incredible Hulk? Call now. You might have a lawsuit on your hands. I mean, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to get compensated off of this. I unfortunately don't think it's going to be the consumers directly. I think it's going to be just another entrepreneur mind of an attorney that's just going to go hammer this thing and milk them.
I mean, the consumers always end up getting, they get cut a check for, $422, and the lawyer ends up making $370,000 or, $2.5 million or something. But I think that, I mean, there are tons of class action or, whatever they are, tort attorneys. Did you ever read that, The King of Torts by John Grisham? I did.
Yeah. That's actually how I learned a lot about how that works.
Yeah, right? That's a good book.
I think all my law comes from his books. Everything I know about legal, I just quote John Grisham and I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I definitely think that some attorney will get out there and they'll start randomly calling people and buy all they gotta do is start buying supplement lists of people that are eating meat or something, or even go to him and buy his list and contact all those people.
And you can only imagine, like, when you get your kit in the mail of your natural herbal supplements, there's probably some kind of a mission statement right on there with him holding a piece of liver. If you want to look like this, all you got to do is eat 4 livers a day and pray and think positive.
Listen, I made $100 million in the last year as the liver king. Like, honestly, he's regretting throwing that number around right now. He's regretting that, because imagine they get him on the stand and he has to tell what he really made, or maybe he did make 100. Million.
Is there anything illegal with saying what you made and what you didn't make? That I don't know, but
if I think first of all, a lawyer is going to be like, so you're saying you made $100 million off of these lies, this false promotions? Great, I'm going after it. So now there's an incentive to go after it, or worse. You go after it. He's on the stand and now he says, oh yeah, I lied about that too. You don't look good. Right. Once again, you look bad again.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he's a charlatan with a healthy lifestyle. Aside from the steroids, he's pretty healthy lifestyle guy. But I think it's just all going to come out. I don't think he made $100 million. But even if he made 5 million or 10 million, he's got a very, very good, solid follower base, subscribers, and other social media, and he's promoting this. I mean, you sell paintings and you sell products that you have because of your following here. So now just imagine if you were him with that kind of massive following, and people buy your art because they think it looks cool. People want to look like him. So it's almost like you said, that magic pill that they were buying. So I'm sure there's a lot of upset people. They're probably more upset the fact that they're like, maybe I can make some money off of this. Maybe I can sue this guy. Other than that, they probably don't care. It's probably just a way for them to try to get some money back.
Well, I think a lot of people, they start to like somebody's personality too, and they get emotionally invested and they like the person. Like I have like fans, I guess, or followers or whatever, subscribers that like they like they're rooting for me. If they suddenly found out something, douchebaggish about me, they're like, they
probably wouldn't believe it.
No, they would. I mean, if I came out and said a video, yeah, this is what happened, and I lied about this and I lied about that, well, then people would be like, wow, bro, like I was rooting for you and you're actually kind of a dick. Like you've been lying about that the whole time.
It'd be interesting. Anybody watching this video that is a Liver King fan or was a Liver King fan, I'd be interested to know if people still support him or if people have jumped off the bandwagon. Are they watching him now just to watch him fail? Or do they think this was just a mistake that he can overcome?
Yeah.
drop a comment.
Hey, if you like the video, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos like this. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the Liver King. If you have any other links that you want to send me about it or anything new about it that's going on, please do that. Send them to me in the comment section or email them to me. If you have any other videos or any other scams or things that are happening, send me a link. Do me a favor if anybody in the comment section, because guys in the comment section will say, hey man, you got to check this out. Look up this guy, look up Puggy Pug. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know who Puggy Pug is. So could you please send me a link to who this person is? And then I can at least go, who? And then I can click on the link or hit me up on, send me an email, explain it to me and send me a link. My email will be in the description. All my books are in the description. There's a whole bunch of Patreon is in the description. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Thank you very much. See ya.